Rareware, or simply Rare, is one of gaming's greatest developers. During the SNES and N64 era, they were hit after hit, releasing franchises such as Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, and Perfect Dark. In 2001, Rare was purchased by Microsoft, and the grand majority of their output shifted to the Xbox and the Xbox 360. Here is where they created franchises such as the Kinect Adventure series and Sea of Thieves, as well as countless other titles such as today's topic, Viva Pinata. Let's get started. The original concept for a casual gardening game came from Rareware co-founder Tim Stamper in 2002, although originally envisioned for the Pocket PC handheld. After putting a small team of 3 developers together to start the development, the project was eventually moved to the OG Xbox, before eventually settling on the Xbox 360, mostly for its graphical powers. The concept to make the animals piñatas came from the idea that they wanted to make all of the animals in a united art style, and that piñatas were not very common in the UK, which is where Rare is based. A stress was placed by Microsoft that this game must remain as family-friendly as possible, as they were hoping this release would widen the appeal of the Xbox 360. Upon release, the developers were unhappy with the final product, as they felt a lot of what they wanted to include had to be left out to make sure the game came out on time. The game was considered a success both by Rare and Microsoft, and it was received well, with the most emphasis being put on how stunning the graphics were. I personally thought this game was super interesting. I wasn't entirely sure what it was I was looking at first, or doing, but as things unlock for you, the game starts to make a whole lot more sense. This game is one of those scenarios where you get from the game what you're willing to put into it. There are so many different ways to decorate your garden, and just as many customization options to those decorations. I will say that it is both a positive and negative that the game does not hold your hand. It seems like it's going to, because the tutorials are frequent at first. But once you get past a certain hump, the game goes, alright, that's enough, go have fun, and throws you off the deep end. Or maybe I'm just slow. Could be a mix of both, to be honest. But I did reach a certain point in this game where it took me quite a bit of time to figure out what exactly it was I was supposed to be doing. The critics were absolutely right. Everything in this game is gorgeous. It's super saturated and fun looking and made it a joy to play. If you want to experience this game, I suggest grabbing Rare Replay, because not only is this game on there, the sequel is as well. But if television and cartoons are more your style, Viva Pinata has you covered there too, with... Before the game even came out, Microsoft was already confident that Viva Pinata was going to be a much larger franchise. So in preparation, American company 4Kids Entertainment agreed to make an animated show to go along with the game's release. The show follows a band of piñatas on their day-to-day life on the island. The 3D models used in the game would also be used in making the show, with the animation being heavily influenced by those 3D models. Rare's creative director, Greg Mayles, oversaw the production of the show, and had to approve episodes to make sure they were applicable to the world of the game. On top of this, certain parts were added to the cartoon, with the ideas that it would give players hints and ideas that they could bring over to the actual game as they played. The plot would also go on to influence the outcome of Viva Pinata's sequel, Trouble in Paradise. It began airing on August 26, 2006 on 4Kids TV in America, YTV in Canada, Nicktoons and CITV in the UK, and Nickelodeon and ABC in Australia. It began to disappear off schedules around June of 2011 in Canada, the region where it aired the longest as reruns. The cartoon's interesting. I remember seeing it as a kid and more so being horribly confused more than anything. Honestly, watching it now as an adult, I share that same sentiment. It's not bad by any means, it's very on par with other kids shows of its time, but it's just a bit too wild and wacky for my liking. I will say though that the animation itself is actually really good. It can definitely lean into the uncanny valley at times, but their dedication to making them look like their in-game counterparts was successful if you ask me. I even like the squatch and stretch used for comedic purposes. If you're interested in at least checking out the show, there are places you can find it fairly easily. I recommend giving it a shot, if nothing more than to experience the absurdity of it. Viva Pinata is a franchise I knew existed, but did not know to what extent. I can't say it's my favorite Rare property, but I do see that even long after the Xbox buyout, Rare's love for the weird, wacky, and absurd was still going strong. What did you think of Viva Pinata, or its cartoon? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.